out and got sponsored by Nike. What the hell's going on there? Yeah, Tiger Woods.
Looking like Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, the Knicks are looking dangerous. I will say that.
Yeah, they look real good tonight.
Yeah,
The Knicks,
say,
without Anunoby and Randall, sheesh.
They're saying weeks, not months, hopefully, with that shoulder dislocation. But maybe they'll get some different chemistry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I think happened. I mean, it was against the Hornets, but it was a good start out without Randall.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, and what happened to OG? What was wrong with him?
I didn't see it. I just noticed he wasn't playing by the time I got home. The game was on. So I know Josh Hart blew up 12 rebounds. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, he couldn't give me a damn 3-pointer, that asshole.
DiVincenzo, 28. There was a
I don't know where this
DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo's shooting the shit out of the ball.
Well, he played for the Warriors. He played for the Warriors last year. He
wasn't doing this shit.
The crazy thing too, is they're all from Villanova.
The Villanova Knicks.
Yeah, all three of them cats. Yeah.
We're just waiting for February 8th, get Bridges, and then that's it. It's a wrap.
Wait, who'd you say? Get
Bridges from the Nets.
Yeah.
Bridges from the Nets.
You better ship off all those first-round picks, Grimes.
We got Villanova next level.
Villanova. Damn, fellas. Well, we're back in action again. Action-packed weekend this past weekend, the playoffs. We had the Chiefs, Ravens. Obviously, we had some action going on with that one. That one was a static game, to say the least. And then we had the Lions, 49ers. That one was really interesting. Interesting coaching, how that one kind of ended up with and whatnot. I'm sure we'll get into that in a little bit. But how are y'all doing tonight?
Man, doing good. Really good.
Feeling good as always. Me and Whit had a big weekend. I know.
Still celebrating.
I was pushing E's buttons a little bit, and he was like, "Respectfully, I'm on to San Fran and Detroit." I was like,
he gave you the Bill Belichick.
Turn the page.
He gave you
turn the page, man.
But I had to stick it in. I had to just jab you guys a little bit. That was it. But it was all good fun. The game was fun.
Whit came in the chat saying we were talking all week. I was like, me and E were silent all week. I was getting pushed every day to lay that on something.
Yeah, you know when I knew we had him, Sach. You know when I knew we had him. I know D a long time, right? When I came up, I said, "Hey, we ready, boys? Plus 4.5." He said, "Whoa! Wasn't it plus 3.5?" I knew at that time he was like we agreed with what ball we said. Hey, we'll play. You bring a ball, we'll bring a ball, and then I was like, "Hey, let's play this ball." He was like, "No, let's play with this ball." But
the bet was 3.5.
But if you get the tape, it was like, "I'll beat you with any ball." But then I knew we had him when he was like technicalities, and then was like, "We got the tape. We'll look at that if we need it."
That was the bet. It was 3.5, and then all of a sudden, Witt's on comms like, "No. I said I'm taking the points with 4.5." The day of, I was like,
hey, "If we go back and tell
Witt's favorite line, what's the payout? What's the payout?"
We go, yeah. Hey, what's the payout? Because I'm out here in California, man. It's like it's hard. Like it says, like you're not in jurisdiction, this, that. So I'm just trying to look at the lines. I'm not even trying to lay because I can't. So I'm always like, "What's the payout?" It's like I'm in a third world country out here trying to get to a DSN call to try to get some information. What's going on with my wife back home, but I can't get nothing from the troops. So I knew we had them then, but if you go back and play tape, I said I'm gonna take KC with the points for our viewers. And we thought, even E said, I think that you're gonna see that drop to 3, potentially, maybe 2.5. It went to 4.5. I couldn't believe it the morning of. So snagged that right away. So then I wanted to re-clarify the bet. I mean, you guys thought they were gonna win outright, but
I did.
Interesting, interesting game.
They had enough chances.
Yeah, they had plenty of chances. It was just a stagnant game. So obviously, for all the viewers and listeners out there, the Sochman and the Witster, they win the steak dinner. So we'll see how that one goes. We're going to try to do that. Witt said we're going to try to do that around the finals time. So hopefully we can get to a nice place, get a live stream going with all the finals rocking. We'll get a
nice place. I thought we agreed on the place.
We did. Cheddar's.
No. He had his
Capital Grill,
party.
Colorado Springs.
No, there was a steakhouse in Denver that he had his retirement party. We can roll the tape back. That's what's great about this business.
I think it was Chili's.
No. Where was that
Texas
place?
Roadhouse.
What's that place? What's that place called?
Del Frisco.
I gotta look it up again, but yeah, I know where it's legit.
Yeah,
we'll make
I
sure.
Look it up again.
We'll make sure the fellas have a good plate in front of everything. But yeah, hopefully get a live stream going for that for the finals and everything. Get a nice setup going down there. Maybe a little cigar or two rolling. But congrats to the boys again. But just to recap, what were your guys' review on that game, Kansas City in Baltimore against the Ravens? For me, like it was just so stagnant the whole time. And Sach had brought up earlier, man, Gus Edwards came out like shot out of the cannon to start the game, and then they only ran it 6 times with the running backs, if I'm not correct. So they just completely threw that away and whatnot, and they just looked like they didn't have a game plan from that point on and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore, I saw a tweet. It just said that Baltimore's pretty much they're not built from playing from behind. They're built from playing with the lead, playing freely, getting turnovers, and that just wasn't happening in the whole game. When you ask Lamar to sit back there and throw the ball in the pocket to bring it back, it's not going to happen. I mean, he's great when the pressure is off of him, and that's pretty much been the story of his whole career in the playoffs. And I was just telling ZJ, the only thing that Lamar Jackson did this year was beat a rookie quarterback-led Houston Texans team. I mean, that's all he did. Right. Yeah, he had a great regular season, but he's another Dak Prescott-esque quarterback who plays good in the regular season, but he just can't manage to play that way in the playoffs. It does no good to have all these wins if you can't get over that hump to get to the big game. So I want Lamar Jackson, in that same group with Dak Prescott and Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert. They're all just nobodies. So that's how the business is graded, and I want those 2 MVPs shoved so far up his ass that nobody cares.
I'm glad this thing mixed with nothing. I needed a stiff one for the nobody's comment. Man.
That's what the NFL community says. Everyone's a nobody unless you make it to that game. And it's just it's all empty calories at the end of the day. Just empty calories that don't mean anything.
I think there's 2 things with that game. 2. I think what we and other people have talked about with Lamar Jackson, I think you saw in the Houston game and this game his hesitancy to pass the line of scrimmage, right? He wants to keep going lateral, keep his eyes downfield. Just take off. Just be who you are.
You should have ran the ball a lot more.
It's like he's trying to show that he can pass the ball versus like go get the 7 to 12 yards when you had it, right? That's 1. 2, youth got him. The Zay Flowers, the turning point of the game was the Zay Flowers Thompson. Yeah. They would have been on the 10-yard line versus the 25-yard line. Changes the play call, changes everything about that, right? So immaturity and Lamar's immaturity for not knowing who he is. He hasn't yet said, well, this is who I am. There's some times he could have ran the ball without getting nicked. And I think that he's trying to prove the media and other people, wrong that, hey, I can throw the football. But they need to go out and get him another receiver, number 1. Next year they'll have Edwards. Zay Flowers will be another year, but they need to go out and get another receiver. And they need to address the running game because that's what they do is they run the ball. But I think those 2 things killed him. Lamar not being who Lamar is. And then at the end of the day, man, you're playing against Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's Patrick Mahomes. But as far as nobody, we've all had jobs where not every year you got a promotion. Like, there's 5 years you never got promoted. I think that we're saying if you don't make the big – and that's the way society is now. If you don't make the big game, it's nothing. No, it's not. I think that next year he'll be better, more experienced, and we'll get on. Same thing with Mahomes, the Brady conversation. Brady had 2 Hall of Fame careers. The second half of his career was more Hall of Fame than the other. Mahomes can be really great this first half, and he could drop off or get tear an ACL or something, and the second half could look a lot different. So I just think Lamar needs to be Lamar. I think he's improved his passing ability, improved his pocket awareness, but he still needs to continue to run the ball. And then, they need to mature. And Zay Flowers, that play to me, much like we'll get into probably with the Niners Lions, was the pivotal play in the game.
It remind me of if you guys watch UFC, and I'm sure you do, to Whit's point, it was the classic striker who's going to wrestle. It's the wrestler who decides he's going to strike with a striker. 51% of the time, they ran the ball in the regular season out of their plays. 49 were passed. They ran the ball 6 times with their running back that whole game. And Lamar never drops back. He was taking 8, 10 step back. It was, I don't know what they were trying to do. They left who they are to kind of almost show, hey, Patrick, I'm going to show you I could throw too, or I'm going to show you I'm a quarterback as well. And you are, but you're a different kind. I got no answer for it because I have no idea what they were doing. I think everybody was watching it saying the same thing. Where's Gus Edwards? He got 15 yards, and then that was it.
Right.
Throw, punt, throw. That interception was killer. I mean, Zay Flowers, yeah, but you threw it into 3 defenders. Oh my God,
Yeah, that was terrible.
Like 3 defenders with red jerseys.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'm colorblind, but I can say that. But so there was a lot there. I think KC's D stepped up. Baltimore's defense. You shut Pat Mahomes out the whole second half.
Yeah, that's why.
It wasn't like they didn't want to score. I mean, that's what I mean. Like Baltimore slowed it down, and then they couldn't get the offense going. They got beat, but they got beat. I think because they changed who they are.
Yeah, the interception was huge too. And the other thing, if you didn't watch the game, you just took all the stats and you looked at the 2 teams, you would say that Baltimore's stats were Kansas City's and Kansas City's stats were Baltimore's. I think most people would say, okay, whose stats are who? And it's not a trick question. I think you would say, well, obviously. And I think when Kansas City went down, ran clock, scored on that possession, that opening possession, I think that it's like the Ravens tried to beat someone different. And it was weird. It was like, dude, they were very physical on that drive. But then the Ravens, it's like they no longer wanted – I don't know what their game plan was coming in, but it's like it shook them. I don't know, because they were very physical with the Ravens. I was shocked on that first drive.
And that –
yeah, I mean,
give him credit. That first half, I mean, everybody knows Pat's Pat, but that first half, he was incredible. That touchdown pass to Kelsey, Hamilton was locked up. There was only one hole to put that ball, and he put it there. And that was the whole first half. He was just dialed in, and what are you going to do? You just got to
10 for 10 in the first
and come back, but they just did. Yeah, he was on fire. So
yeah. And he wasn't on fire when he was throwing to Noah Gray. I'll tell you that much. He was throwing fucking ground balls to Noah Gray, bro. Tell me not, bro. That prop should have cashed. And I know should have's not a word in gambling, but goddamn, bro. He was open like 3 times and he was throwing them straight into the ground. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. That was terrible. And then, I mean, going back to Lamar, I'm just watching the game and it just looks like he kind of doesn't have a lot of pocket awareness. He's just sitting back there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you could do it with your legs, but there was a couple times I'm like, okay, you got to scramble, get out, scramble, just go run it. But he's staying in there too long trying to make a throw, and that's just not who he is. As soon as it collapses,
it's almost like he switched his game up.
Yeah, and then these
it's almost like he went away from what he normally does, because he wasn't scrambling out of the pocket a lot this game. He was trying to be in the pocket presence.
And I mean, it just seems like his mechanics sometimes when he throws the ball, he does these half arm, side arm, throws, and they show it in slow motion, and the fucking ball's a duck. It's just, I mean, I don't know. I think he was just getting a little too nervous once they were down, and it was all on him. But I mean, I said, he lost. He did lose to the best quarterback in the world over the past 4 or 5 years, and he's going to be the next decade too. I mean, Mahomes is just built different.
Yeah. It's going to be a long – and here's the crazier part, too. This was the Chiefs' down year. This was their down year.
Yeah.
And they're still able –
it's almost
able to do something like that.
It's almost like Jordan, right? I think a lot of these guys and Jordan took a couple years off. Olajuwon got his, right? But it's almost like a lot of these guys are going to be denied just because they came in when Mahomes did. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate because Mahomes, they came in when Mahomes did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some of these guys would get rings, and they would have them by now. But it's just unfortunate the timing. But at the same time, I know me and Sach are probably going to disagree on this. This is where I think you see that Allen is the MVP. And if you look at Lamar's MVP year versus this year, his numbers are like half, if that. And you look at who's the real MVP. What would the Bills be without Allen, and what would the Ravens be without Lamar? I think you would see two 500 teams. They're going off of Lamar beat the Niners handedly. They're going off of things like that. Oh, the best record. But when you look at productivity and the most valuable player, I think the most valuable player of their team this year was Josh Allen.
I mean, he could be that, but so Sash was kind of harsh with the nobodies. Yeah, but if you look at levels, if you look at the level common, he's right. Like, what does Dak get burned on? Hey, he can't win a playoff game.
But Dak's defense just gave up 49 points to Jordan Love. At least Lamar's defense gave up 17 points to Pat Mahomes.
But Josh Allen,
if the Ravens would have lost,
Josh can't get a pass. You can't give Josh a pass, and he can't beat KC in three tries now and say, hey man, he's still. But Lamar can't go to the Super Bowl. He's horrible. Dak can't get there. He's horrible. But I get it. Buffalo's hometown. It's not a small town, but it's a small community there where they all come. They all love Coach, love him. But he's got to beat Mahomes. You got to, and he can't. So you can't put him. He's got to be with those, like Sas was saying. I'm not saying they're nobodies. That's not at all what I'm saying. But
I agree. But nobody wants to put Burrow in this, right? Like Burrow's got this swagger, this charisma, all this thing. I love Burrow. Don't get me wrong. But Josh Allen has been there
He's got no rings.
But exactly. But Josh Allen, if you look at, been more consistently there than any of them. Been to an AFC Championship game. Okay, lost to Mahomes when he had 13 seconds left on the clock. Been to the playoffs, lost to the Chiefs. It's nothing bad to lose to Mahomes. This is Lamar's second run, and he made it to the playoffs. But he had an easy. Come on, man, that was the easiest route to a championship game.
That's what Pat Ewing used to say about Jordan, man. It ain't bad losing to Jordan.
Yeah.
But you're still losing.
It's still losing. But when you look at them, I would take Josh Allen over Burrow. I would take Josh Allen over Lamar. I would take him over everyone in the AFC except Patrick Mahomes. That's just me. He's been there more consistently, and his team, I think his team significantly, they give up a lot of points, man. If you look at the games that he's had to win, he's had to put that team on his back. Yeah, he's missed some reads and done some other things, but he's put that team on his back more than anyone.
Yeah.
And I think
he gone too. We only got 2 left.
I think it's the classic saying when you look at Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs of just act like you've been here before, right? You look at Mahomes, especially when he's under center and the camera's on him. I mean, the dude just looks so calm because he's been there so many times. And to what he's saying, there's just levels to this. But once you kind of understand the game and you've been at that level so many times, you can stay calm. With Lamar and the game, especially when they were down, he just looked frigid, looked nervous almost. He just wasn't playing his game. That the Chiefs allowed the Ravens to not play their game.
I think we all played competitive sports, and Zach, ZJ, you notice Mahomes, it's just slower for him. He's been there more times that it's slowed down every time he's gotten there.
He's just been there before.
You could just see it.
Like he's not worried at all. He's not concerned, even if they're down. And to go to like Travis Kelce, first of all, Travis Kelce had a hell of a game. I don't understand how you're the Ravens and that's the one guy that can kill you over there, and he's just still torching you. So forget that game plan. And then you go over to Kelce's side of things, right? He's been there so many times too. He's having fun with it. He's looking at guys talking, chirping, but that's what he does. That's his game and all that. And he balled out, man. And Travis Kelce's that dude. Kelce's that dude.
We made a big mistake as a group, and I'm surprised no one brought it up, but Kelce's prop was at 5.5 receptions at even money before the game started.
Yeah,
And that's on us because in a playoff game like that, I mean, what do you have? 6, 7 catches, 8, 9 catches in the first half?
9 catches for over
That-
100 yards.
That was on us. We can't let something like that happen.
Broke Jerry Rice's post-season record.
For
Yeah,
reception.
he had for the game. He had 11 receptions, 116 yards.
That's
So I'll
right.
give you. I was going to save this for the second part of the segment with the Super Bowl.
Damn.
But we did miss that, and here's why. Because in the last 12 playoff games, he hasn't caught less than 5 balls. The least he's caught is 5 balls. There's only 2 games in the last 12 he hasn't scored a touchdown. He has 105 receptions for 1,178 yards in the last 12 playoff games with 13 touchdowns. So, yeah, missed an opportunity. Had to go back and kind of look. I feel like every time I watch him, I want to say, well, this is the game. This is the game. And I stay away from it. When I went back, I was like, I feel like he's consistently having games that I look back and I'm like, I should have bet him. But, yeah, last 12 playoff games, only 2 without touchdowns, 1 touchdown or more, 105 receptions with 1,178 yards the last 12 playoff games. So, crazy numbers.
Man. I'm with it.
But, yeah.
I don't know. Are you going to go with him this time?
Yeah, cool.
I am because I think I'll see what the numbers come out as, but I think you have to go with him because he's not without duration, frequency of exposure. He's going to get it. Opportunities, he's going to get it. Execution, that's where you got to look at it. But he's going to get his opportunity, and he's going to be exposed to opportunities. You know what I mean? So who are they going to put on him?
Yeah,
like you had Kyle Hamilton, who's one of the rangiest, most athletic safeties in the league. And who are the Niners going to stop him with? Fred Warner?
He's one of the best.
I'm putting Fred Warner on that motherfucker.
Fred Warner's getting smoked. He's going to set a Super Bowl record if that's the plan.
Travis Kelce's that dude, man. Like, and you just watch him too. He's just having fun with it. He's toying with people.
I think the thing about them
He's
too, though,
throwing helmets before the game.
I love it. I love it though. Like, I love it.
that was classless though. Like you pick on a kicker, man. That's like picking on. Like, come on.
Okay,
Man. And
why does Justin Tucker got to be all the way over where Pat Mahomes is?
He's done it for 12 years. I watched an interview with him today, and then I went back and looked at some. He's done it for 12 years.
But he's got to be right next to him.
You know what I like about that? You know what I like about that though? Sometimes, like you
That's
said,
a little dog in your kicker.
We've all played sports. Let's go out there. I mean, no one's gonna fight. So let's go out there. Let's dog the weakest link. Let's play bully and see if anyone has his back. Let's do it. Let me throw his helmet, kick his balls away, and let's see if any of these dudes do anything. And if they don't do anything, that's when you know they don't want smoke.
That's when you know you got them right where you want them.
So Patrick Mahomes asked him,
Kelsey's a guy that wants to get his own blood pressure going. He's like Pat Beverly and Bill Brooks.
I think
he wants to fire himself up in a way where he ain't hurting nobody. He just threw his helmet, and Kelsey wanted to start back and forth, and that got him going. That got his ass going.
He did that on purpose, but Mahomes asked him, hey, would you mind moving over there? Justin Tucker moves his helmet, and then Kelsey, not privy to the conversation, comes over and acts like an ass.
I love that. I love a good asshole.
I do agree with you. He did it completely selfishly for himself, but he looked like a punk picking on a classy guy, number one, a professional, a player of the decade at his position in Justin Tucker, best kicker league, comes over and does it to him. And by the way, when kickers warm up, rarely is there anyone around him. So it's not like he walked into the herd and acted like acted like the big dog. And that's the piece I don't like about it. I'm like, okay, dude, if you're going to do that, why don't you go into the linebacker huddle, the folks who are going to be getting down with you. You know what I mean?
But when you take down a beast, you always got to take the weak one out.
That's where you find the chink in the armor.
That's where you find the cheek in the armor. And if he goes down, then the whole thing's going down.
Sounds like ZJ at the club, the weakest link, the one limping, the one with the cast.
Good
about come on. The one that don't feel very good about herself. You know what I mean? I want to raise her self-esteem. That's just bad habit.
Hey, and that's just part of the game plan too, though. I mean, you want to get in someone's head. Yeah, I mean, Sach knows We love that. If you're in someone's head, you won the battle. You won the battle right there because they're just going to play off of emotion.
The kicker.
But no, I'm going back to what. No. I hear you. But I'm going to what Sach said. They did that, and then no one on the Ravens team seemed to like help him out or anything.
Nobody was there.
That's the big thing.
That's the big thing. Like you got to have your boys back over there.
But if I'm Justin Tucker and he did that to me, if I'm Justin Tucker, I'm saying, I'm doing that. Let's start smoke before the game.
I mean, they had him. But no, enough said, fellas. Love it. We'll see what happens now. We got the Super Bowl picture at hand. Let's just do a quick recap again of that Detroit 49ers game. I know a lot of controversy with this one, especially with coaching in this game. What do we got for this one?
I mean, I've said it like when we were
Sach did call it out before
Dan
the game.
Campbell, he does that fourth, and he has a little Brandon Staley DNA in him. He does. But I respect him sticking to his guns. That's what he's done. He's done it all year. I've seen it with the Cowboys. We saw it. He has balls. His nuts are huge. And in the playoffs, I think sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just have to take it himself. When you have. He out-coached himself. Kind of like how I said he might eventually, and he damn sure did. There was just no rhyme or reason on why you wouldn't just kick a field goal. Because they'll be like,
the first one maybe, right?
Yeah, early in the game. But at that point in the game, just kick the field goal.
I get it's what got him here, but this is for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, this isn't for
This is what your men have been balling out for this whole game, that whole first half. And I bet you if there was a lie detector, everyone on that sideline was, let's tie this game up.
The second one,
what the fuck are we doing, coach?
The first one would have put him up by 20.
The first one would have made it.
I don't mind that one.
I don't know,
man.
I
don't mind that one. It was the third quarter one. You know, time's running. You're halfway through the third. Time's running down, and then that Montgomery run. You know, you call a time. You know, you need 3 timeouts to stop him.
That was foolish.
If he doesn't get in, it's like that should have taken the run off the table. Everything has to be end zone.
Here's my thing.
I actually think they should have kicked the field goal at that point and then kicked the onside, right? So you kick the field goal, you have 3 timeouts.
They should have kicked it earlier. Yeah, they should have kicked it a lot earlier. I don't know why they were wasting time trying to get it down there. Like they should have kicked it earlier to give themselves more time to get it back. But here's what I'll say about the post-game interview to what E was saying, where he was like, you know, this is what we did to get here. Okay, but the one before halftime, right before halftime, they were keeping the offense out on the field. They were thinking about it. They were looking like they were going to go for it. And what'd they do? They kicked the field goal, which was the smartest thing you should have did right there. So what do you mean, you know, this is what got us here? You decided to be smart there and kick that field goal and not go for it. And then it just flipped the script in the second, and it was just foolish. Like, you had the game. You guys had the Super Bowl. You had the Super Bowl.
They started rushing. They started dropping balls. It was all uncharacteristic that second half.
Yeah,
that first half, that was Lions football. And then all of a sudden, Brown can't catch. You know, it's going through Williams' hands in the end zone, and
Reynolds dropped one on fourth down. Reynolds dropped that ball. I mean,
the Lions did something because the Ayuk thing that just lets you know the football gods were in play. Like that's kind of like the Edelman Super Bowl catch. Yeah, it's like okay, what is Dan Campbell doing in his off time? What are these players doing? Something happened. They're not living right when stuff like that starts happening. That's how I felt. But I believe you should have kicked the field goal in the second half, the first possession, because you keep the momentum. Look, every time we've gotten the ball, we put points on the board. Every time. Yeah. Once you didn't get the points, it changed everything and the momentum shift. I said, if they don't kick this, and if they don't get this, it's going to flip the momentum. And I just felt that way, and it did, man. And I think you could have put points on every time you have a chance, especially when you're up 17, 14. Put the points on the board, because now it puts it into 17 puts it into 3 possessions, and that's where they were. They weren't in a 16-point conundrum. So I would have put the points on the board. Now you need 3 possessions. So you need to get the ball 3 times, and I'm going to limit your possessions is what I'm trying to do. So I didn't like it. E and Soch both called it. E called it last week. He's like, Dan Campbell's gonna, he's gonna overthink it. He's gonna do this, and I was kind of riding with Dan Campbell. And in this game, I was just like, I know that's what got you here, but the game was going differently. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah, especially with the lead.
So I don't know. So my hat goes off to
They bailed Shanahan out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really did. Here's what I got 2 things for that. One, in a way, I am happy that San Fran's going to the Super Bowl because I'm hoping they can just beat the Chiefs because I really don't want to hear about it again with Pat Mahomes, all this stuff. I'm just so annoyed with the Chiefs. But on the second hand thing, when you're the quarterback within Jared Goff, you don't do you think he went up to Dan Campbell and was like, coach, maybe we should take some points here? As a quarterback of the team, you probably should be saying something too.
But quarterbacks are dudes that always want to go for it. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, but see, I'll disagree with that because if you're the quarterback of the team there, you got to know what's best for the team there.
I think
there's a head coach. He ain't gonna say nothing to no head coach.
I bet me and E align on this. Andy Reid is an intellectual alpha. Patrick Mahomes is an athletic male alpha. If Patrick Mahomes tells Andy Reid, they're thinking from different lenses. If Goff goes to Dan Campbell, we know Dan Campbell's the alpha in that situation. So I don't think that relationship, that dynamic is different.
Yeah, I hear you.
Just like Harbaugh and Lamar, just like McDermott and Allen, I think that there's a different relationship there, and that's why I believe Dan Campbell, you could see him gone in 2 years or end of next year, because I could see if this was a run, he could lose that locker room very quick because to come back from this and then to have 1 or 2 of those decisions next year in week 4 and week 13. And now you're like, man, here we go again, this guy. And so that's why it's different. I think that relationship dynamic is different. As Goff ain't rolling up to Dan Campbell, you know what I mean? And
it is a newer relationship. But, I mean, he probably lost some guys after the game. I mean, I would have been pissed.
Especially with his speech that he told him. He said, guys, we might not make it back. Like, what the fuck?
What was that? What the hell? Why would you even say that?
That might be our only chance. Motherfucker,
we might not make it back, and because of my poor decisions, we're not even going to the Super Bowl.
I think they gotta own their play, man. They didn't there was plenty of defensive opportunities. And then the second thing though is they might not make it back. But that's just the reality. I wouldn't have said that. That's the reality of the business. But I think that team's too young for him to lose them this year. And also, you got to understand that team has never been there. They're regardless, nobody will say it, but they're happy for the opportunity because you can go back as far as intramural and you went 1-3 in whatever the year before. The next year you 1 game shy of the championship game, and you're going to be thinking, oh man, we sucked last year. You know what I mean? So
I think the Lions and Houston are like they can look at their seasons and say, hey, we got stuff to build.
Yes.
On. You made the playoff first time in 30 years. You won 2 home games. Like, you know what I mean? Hey, we had at the end. Once the pain subsides, you can look back and say, hey, we did something. Houston's the same way. Well, everyone else is just like, man, another missed.
I'd say the Packers too.
Yeah, absolutely. The Packers are. I think the thing next year is like Detroit's tickets are going to go up, right? They're going to go up. So now you got to produce that product that Detroit fans are playing for because it's going to be sold out. Season ticket holders with escalated prices. You better produce a product or else the pressure is going to be much like Philly this year.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, it's just like they freaking had it. They had it. And
until they didn't,
Until they didn't, yeah. But see, that's another thing too, though, was there was a lot of Lions players already celebrating around the halftime mark and everything. Got a little too comfortable there. I mean, you can't get comfortable in this league. You cannot.
Yeah. And I think we got to give more credit too to Brock Purdy. I mean, he could have flat out just
he could have lost a lot of confidence.
He could have been gone, but I mean, you got to give credit to that dude. He stood in there. He made throw. He looked like Lamar Jackson in the second half. And I mean, you could tell those dudes in the locker room, they all love him. They've all been loving him since last year. And, I mean, everyone has his back, and it's a guy that doesn't say anything. Brock Purdy's not a guy that goes and says, crazy stuff. So, got to give it to Brock Purdy. He came down from 24 to, 24/7, whatever it was. And, I mean,
delivered.
He's a dog.
Yeah, they
don't look like it, but, I mean, he is. You got to give him credit.
That Super Bowl mess around for the first 30 minutes, but like I said,
they better not do it to Mahomes.
That can't happen again because these guys are, like I said, the Chiefs have just been there. They've been there so many times to where it's just that's their element.
It's back-to-back slow starts for the Niners. That's back-to-back extremely slow starts, and they're going to have a 2-week layoff once again. And that slow start's not going to get it done against Mahomes and Andy Reid, in my opinion.
So what are we now heading over to the Super Bowl picture, Chiefs versus Niners? What are we kind of looking at right now? I think the line right now is 2.5.
Oh, dropped all the way down to 1.5. It looked like being down to 1. If it's 1, it'll be the lowest line.
DraftKings back to 2.
Back to 2?
DraftKings, it's back to 2. I just looked because I was looking at Kelsey's receptions.
It's really it's honestly a pick 'em. It's a pick 'em at this point.
It's 1.5 on ESPN bet at 110 each side. So it's probably gonna.
What do they got for Kelsey's receptions right now?
6.5.
Oh, we might have to
7.
Yeah, 7.
So basically 7.
Damn.
I don't know that he goes to the game without 7 catches. But
yeah, especially with the Niners run defense. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's Niners -2 at -102 or Chiefs +2 at -118, which means it's getting ready to change again with the juice up to 118.
Yeah. How are we
that's
feeling
DraftKings,
right?
so shop around.
Whose side we on right now? What are we feeling? I know it's still early, but just as a pre-prediction, kind of where are we at with team-wise?
I'm always taking Mahomes.
I got to get off my recency bias. I'm guilty of it right now. Man, the Chiefs look good.
I'm going with Mahomes.
The Chiefs just look good.
Yeah,
I was against them last week. That's what I mean. I'm not there just yet, but Andy Reid, you give them 2 weeks to make a game plan.
Yeah.
It's the Super Bowl. Pat's going to be even more chiller than he was this time around.
And Shanahan, man.
And you're going to hang me 2 points.
Yeah. I like Mahomes. I'm not betting against Mahomes. I'll make it. We'll get closer, but I'm not betting against Mahomes.
And ZJ, I'm going with the 49ers.
I'm taking the Niners.
There we go.
I'm taking the Niners, fellas. Hey, I hear you. I'm with you. Believe me. Out of anyone, I learned you don't bet against Pat Mahomes. I understand it, but I just cannot root for the Chiefs right now, especially since they're in the Broncos division. Tired of hearing about them and whatnot. I think the 49ers are just stacked with players, so let's see if they come alive. We'll see
Robbie,
if they come alive.
If you're out there, Robbie, Zach is emotional right now. He's within the division. All signs are saying it's toxic, but he's going to stay in the same relationship. I don't like it. So, Robbie, if you're out there, listen, you got three of the heads on here saying Chiefs with the points. Take the points. Zach's obviously emotional.
Let's just jump on the other side of the fence real quick.
No, I think Sauce said he's with the Niners. Sauce is with the Niners.
No, I'm not with the Niners.
No.
Oh, my bad.
I was making fun of ZJ.
Yeah, because he's always going to go. If we say one thing, he's going to go the opposite.
He's mad because they're in the Broncos division. That's it has nothing to do with the game. He's just like, you know what? I'm Niners.
No.
Boo Chiefs.
I want to. No. Yeah, I see. There's a lot of follow the leader around here. I see what you guys are doing over there. I like to think for myself. So I'm riding with the Niners. Here's what I'll say: last 2 games they have been down. All right, we haven't seen them with a legit game plan come out to play how we know how they can play. They just have a lot of weapons on this team, and they got 2 weeks now to prep for the Chiefs. All right, there's one guy over on that offense outside of the run game with Pacheco. You got to figure out how to guard Kelsey. That is the guy you need to figure out how to guard. So get that in your game plan right away. All right, but you still have CMC over there, who is way better than Pacheco. We'll go out and say that. I'll fire that out there. Let me know what you think of that.
That's not a
Way
bad
better.
CMC. Of course, was CMC's better.
Way better. Looking for his first Super Bowl. And like I said, Brock Purdy has just seemed poised. I mean, he's been down in both of these games and led his team as a young quarterback back to win it. So, I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of players around them. And I still, the Niners defense has been silent as of late, but I don't know, man.
Yeah,
but you guys. I'm not saying you guys do.
I reserve the right.
I'm being honest though. I'm rolling with the 49ers. I really like.
I reserve the right to change my pick. I
receiver.
said I got recency bias right now. I got to step back and take a look. There is a reason why. There's a reason that Vegas opened Niners as favorites.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree. Come in, people are going to be pounding the Chiefs.
I agree with E. It could change for me, but I'm saying you're asking right now. Brock Purdy beat Jordan Love and Jared Goff. Brock Purdy beat, I love LaFleur. Love him. And he beat Dan Campbell. Let me talk about Shanahan. Don't forget he was offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. Don't forget that he hasn't got it done for the last 3 years. Don't forget that he was down big this first half. And I think if there was any other coach on the other sideline other than Dan Campbell, we're having a different conversation today. So there's a lot of room. This Andy Reid, and they've been there. It's not going to be a distraction. There's
also a rematch. It's also a rematch from 2019.
Agree, but most of those players on the Niners weren't there. But the Chiefs were. The figureheads for the Chiefs were. The Mount Rushmore of the Chiefs were. So Super Bowl week is not going to be a distraction for the Chiefs like it's going to be, unless something rears its head, but like it's going to be for the Niners. This is all a first for all of them. I think it's great. Debo should be healthy. I think Christian McCaffrey should be healthy. I agree with you. On a roster by name, they're better. And I know the defensive end for the Chiefs towards ACL, that's huge because now Jones is going to get more attention. So that'll be an interesting storyline. But reserve the right to change my pick, like he said. But, I'm not – Mahomes or Purdy. Okay. I like my odds.
You could ask me today.
You might sway me, Jones.
You can ask me today. You guys can ask me on the Thursday show, and then when the Saturday show rolls around, my same answer is going to be 49ers. I'm locking it in.
This is the most committed I've seen Jones anything since
locking it in.
No,
but I hear like I said, man, Mahomes is built different, and so is Kelsey. I mean, they're calm and they've been here before. It's going to be a ball game. We know that regardless. Kyle Shanahan. I said Mike Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan also has some pressure on him for this one. I mean, he's got to get himself one.
So, my brother called at halftime, man, and was calling for his head. You know what I mean? I said, man, I'd talk him off a cliff. But he was listening on the radio. But he's just like, what if they lose this game? Do they get rid of Shanahan? What do they do? And, I mean, that's a different conversation. But it's going to be interesting. I would love to see the Niners kind of, pull it off. I saw a funny meme today. It's like this year's Super Bowl features the NFL quarterback that led the league in passing yards per attempt, third down passing yards, fourth down passing yards, fourth quarter passing yards, and the other team has Patrick Mahomes. It's
Noah Gray plus 750 anytime touchdown.
Noah Gray.
I was looking at my boy Noah's catches. He's at 1.5 receptions at minus 120.
Noah's lucky he's got personal security right now. It's Sasha's eyes.
I might have to ride with Noah once again because he was open, man. I mean, good Lord.
What's it showing, Sach? What'd you say?
They got him at 1.5 receptions at minus 120.
2 catches.
2 catches.
That's a big. That's a big.
And he was running a lot more routes than I anticipated out there. Usually they have him in there for some blocking personnel, but he was at least 12 times I saw him go out there for routes, and he had 5 targets. So 2 catches again. Yeah. I mean, shit.
And like I said, you're game planning so much for Travis Kelce, you're forgetting about the other guys, the silent guys. So that's where these sneaky ones come into hand.
Yeah, and even if Noah Gray caught those 1 or 2 balls, it was a good pick in my opinion. Stuff like that just happens. So I might be going with Noah Gray for 2 catches again. It just happens. I mean, because he could have had 20 yards, to be completely honest. It just didn't.
What was
It
it,
just
2
didn't.
yards? 2 yards off? 3 yards off?
Yeah, and yeah, it was bad. I mean, no, E will back me with what he saw because Noah Gray was he was open, man. Like two passes were just not fucking.
Everything was
not
at the
up.
shoelaces.
Oh, bro, and he wasn't even really under too much pressure when Mahomes threw it. I was like, bro, and they were like, oh, Noah Gray, if he would have caught it, he would have run 10 yards down the field after the catch. And I'm like, fuck, man.
Sach's got a lot of F-bombs now. You can tell he's passionate.
But yeah, that might be my play. You can ask me that play today, Thursday, Saturday.
That's the wisdom right there. Let's add a little. Obviously, we'll get into more player props a little more when we get close to the game time and everything. But now that we're early still, but we should add one of those. There's always the Gatorade, the anthem. Who will hit a pylon type of thing? We might have to throw a little fun one in there just to get antsy on.
So to give you guys a little info about a Super Bowl prop that I've been doing every year, and it hits pretty much every year. I do for the opening kickoff to not be a touchback, and the reason behind it is
guys
Pat McAfee
running up.
Huh?
Well, guys are excited to run that bitch out.
That's one of them. But Pat McAfee said as a kicker, because he was in the Super Bowl, before the opening kickoff, it's a brand new ball, which is a lot harder. It's not, it's not like what's the word I'm looking for?
Worn.
Like kicking ball. They bring their own kicking balls to the game.
Not broken in.
Yeah, it's not broken in because it's a brand new ball. So the ball's never been kicked before because as soon as the ball's kicked off.
Doesn't got a little wear on it.
As soon as the ball's kicked off, it's shipped to Canton, Ohio, and the kickers can't get enough leg on it because it's not worn in yet. And to what ZJ said, the guys they're excited to run it out. I mean,
those guys' eyes are huge when they see that first kickoff come. They want to run.
So the kick is statistically about 4-5 yards shorter than normal, and then with the juice going, and you can usually get that at like plus 125. So I would look out for that prop. I mean, I know it's not like a.
You see the Southpaw E writing that down.
No, I'm serious. I'm
being the opposite because I think the juice probably better because the opposite of it being a touchback is minus 300. So
where are you finding that at? I haven't even looked.
70 or better. I heard it this morning. Yeah, Dr. Chow. But no, I heard it this morning on they were talking about it on the radio. And so they said it was minus 300 for a touchback.
Wow.
They were like, yes, find that. They were trying to pump that play.
So like, throw a little something on
nobody
it to
wants
be
to run it back.
Ran back, exactly. And it's worth it, It's fun.
A little sprinkle.
We gotta give Sach we give E a lot of flack for not getting names right, but Sach calling Pat McAfee. It's Pat McAfee.
McAfee.
God damn it, you're right. I was too excited to explain what I was talking about.
He gives E a lot of shit.
You were laughing? We went and looked it up, and I see you laughing. I'm like, what are you laughing about?
Because Sach is like big on if you get a name wrong. He's like, man, this guy can't.
Because E can't pronounce names right a lot of the time.
So I had to get Sach on that one. McAfee.
He called Debo Samuel. He said Debo Samuels. He said Paulo Blanc. He said Paulo Blancaro. There was no.
Hey, this ain't about me. This ain't about me. It's about you there.
Yeah, it's about you. Yeah, always pointing the finger, Sach. Always pointing the finger.
Yeah.
I just had to get him because he gives people hard times, and if I mess it up, when I think last week I said something, and then Jones caught himself today saying Mike versus so Kyle.
Yeah, that was funny.
But I think no, I like it. I'll take a look at that. That's interesting. I like the one. I'm going to go with look at what the Taylor Swift. I think there'll be one out there. How many times you'll see Taylor Swift over under 10, whatever it is. I'll look at that one just for shits and giggles. I hate seeing her. Like, I don't want to put politics, religion, and her in my football. And now I got her in my football. I've already had politics and religion. Now we got this chicken in our sports. I just don't like it. So I'm going to look at that one and see where it's at. But I mean, I would have to go back and look at how many times she's shown every freaking time. It's like she's shown it's like 7 to 10 times a game.
She's just trying to support her man.
Look, man, don't give me that.
Here's the thing, though. No, real quick. They had a camera angle on her at this previous game, right? So they Travis made a play, and then obviously they zoomed the camera on her, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, please stop!" Like she was like mouthing that because she knows, she hears about it. It's not her telling them to put it on there.
Yeah, but I think I don't know how does our audience see the field the same way we do? Like the upper right corner is a Swiftie, and the rest of us are sports fans.
You got maybe
he's just trying to cheer her man. And I got some inside edition told me that they put the camera on her and she doesn't like it.
You got arguably the number one artist in the world at your. Is that not cool? Like
I'm trying to watch a football game.
I hear you. I'm just saying that's pretty cool. Like
it's terrible. It's terrible. If you went to a Swift concert and every time the lights dimmed, they put it on Kelsey, what would Swifties think? What the hell is going on, man? That's a soon to be three-time Super Bowl champion right there.
Yeah.
It's obnoxious, man. I'm not there to watch her. They don't put it on any other fan. I'm there to watch the game. You know what I mean? If you want to pan it and say who's there, like a Knicks game or a Laker game, hey, courtside, we got Denzel, we got Jamie Foxx, we got, Spike Lee. That's fine. But it's like every time something exciting happens for the Chiefs, they put it and see what Taylor's doing. I don't want to see Taylor jumping up and down with Patrick Mahomes' wife. I'm trying to watch the game, man. I didn't buy a fucking 75-inch TV to see that chick in high def. I'm not on fucking Netflix watching her concert. That's just me. You know what I mean?
So Witt's down on T Swift. All right.
It's not about her. It's about the coverage. It has nothing to do with her. And that's where Swifties are getting it all wrong. They think it's about we don't like her. She didn't choose to be on camera. But at the same time, maybe she needs to get more obscure seats.
And here's another prop that I just saw that is interesting for maybe like a half unit or something. They got McCaffrey at over 1.5 touchdowns at plus 225.
Wow.
And
You think
2 TD?
2 touchdowns. I mean, his single touchdowns minus 230. So for one extra touchdown, you're getting that much
juice,
better odds.
Wow.
That's interesting to even sprinkle like a half unit on. Plus 225. That's a lot.
He's over there. Look at him. The scientist is in the lab.
I'm trying to find the kickoff one. There's hundreds of them out here. So
There's so many.
yeah.
Are you on DK?
Yeah.
Oh, you are on DK? Okay.
Yeah, we'll come together and we'll find a couple because those are always fun.
I think
I always like the anthem one.
Over under whatever the amount of time or whatever.
Yeah. I always like it because there's always some dude on a like a TikTok or a Twitter who's outside when they're doing the rehearsal and he's recording it and then he tells everyone.
What's the who's singing it?
26 of the last 30 opening kickoffs have been returned.
Wait, who is doing the national anthem? We should know this.
Stapleton? Hold up.
It's I know Post Malone's doing a part of it, but there's like someone main doing I know, right? Usher's the halftime show. That'll be kind of sweet.
Hold on.
But no, just fun stuff to do. We'll get into some more props and everything. Get a little unit
Oh
system
man.
going.
Reba Mac.
Oh, that's who it was. It's Reba doing it, and then like Post.
I love me some Reba, man. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Reba, but she's not Vegas, man. This is Vegas.
That's what Brandon Stokely was saying too. He was like, man, she's a little past her prime.
That's
I don't like her, but
that's Atlanta. If you're playing in the Georgia, you playing in Atlanta. That's Atlanta. She ain't on Vegas. Man. I love her from Reba. I'm not gonna hate on Reba on the show like I did Swift because next thing you know, I'll be.
I was gonna say, yeah, Reba could be on TV, but Taylor can't. Jones likes some Taylor. Let him be. Generational.
Well, Post Malone will sing "America the Beautiful," so there'll be something on that. I think they should be flipped for some reason. I feel like they should have flipped who was singing those, but it'll be
pretty cool. How we feel?
I guarantee Reba's going to get a bunch of hate on Twitter or X or whatever. Like,
we feeling good about the halftime show though.
Who is it? Usher and
Usher.
I mean, let it burn. Kind of like this snort.
Let it burn.
Jones, you got Nuggets up 1 on Milwaukee.
Yeah. I was
7 minutes,
gonna
50 seconds.
So kind of quick conversation, right? And me and Sach were kind of arguing about this before we started the show. How do we feel about the whole Embiid ducking Denver thing?
Ducking? You think he's ducking?
There's a theory. Yeah, I'm with E. There's a theory right now too that he, right, the media and everyone put him out now for the Trailblazer game today, just so it could like show that, hey, you know, he's hurt. He was hurt for Denver, type of thing, and he can only miss 5 more games.
Yeah.
If he misses 5 more games, he can't win the MVP. But
play 65.
I think it's soft, weak. I mean, I was telling Sach, if that's your MVP, that's your MVP. But that's so weak. That's not.
Can we
want to see the gladiator fight of the century?
He was like, I don't think.
Yeah, it's just it's just weak, but that's what the NBA is turning into. You can YouTube and watch the videos of Kobe, and he was talking about when he had a bad back, and he had to go up to, I think it was Toronto, to play McGrady, and he was like, "No, I'll miss the next game, but I'm not missing McGrady." He's like, "We're going to war." Like he was ready. Let's do this. He wasn't on any reports. He was healthy all the way up till an hour before game time, and then had a mysterious knee swelling. But the thing that makes it kooky is that it's his 4th time in a row missing Denver, or whatever the numbers. I know we had the bubble in there.
29. He hasn't played. I was telling Sach, he hasn't played in Denver since 2019. He also does this when he plays against Giannis and when he plays against Bam Adebayo in the Heat in Miami. He never goes on these road games and plays these guys. He always seems to miss them. He'll play them when it's on his end of the railroad. But when he has to go there to their home field, he ducks these guys. So it's just kind of, if that's your MVP, that's your MVP.
But it's just chatter,
I didn't have all that, but appreciate the insight. I don't know, but
and the other thing too is he's nowhere to be found, right, for an interview after the game. He's hiding during the game. Like, it's just, I don't know. That's just weak to me. Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I think Embiid's always been.
He knows what it does though. He's not stupid. Like, he knows if he doesn't get seen or anything, I don't know. It's just so dumb to me. Like, I don't know. Sach has a different opinion, but
what Sach is out in Denver.
Me and Sach were going at it.
I don't want to break up a home or anything, but I would love to hear both sides as a mediator.
So I mean, I get it, ZJ, and like the Nuggets fans. Well, the thing is, ZJ listens to Denver radio, and every radio. It's like if I was on a radio for my home team, there's going to be bias with it. His keyword before he started was theory. That's a keyword to throw out there. Theory is a theory. But my sources said that Embiid, the players have the option to be on the injury report. He told the team to not put him on the injury report. He was going to play. Ramona Shelburne even came out saying it. He wanted to play. He went out there, did his pregame warmups, and he did not look good. The training staff was the ones who shut him down because, I mean, it's one game. You can't go out there while you're hurt. Michael Malone even stated that he knew Embiid was hurt before he even came to Denver. He said, I was watching them go up against the Pacers. He was not himself. You could tell that his leg injury was bothering him. The thing that Malone was upset with was what he said, that he wasn't on any injury reports, and then all of a sudden he had knee swelling. So that's what I heard. And the ducking, I don't think he's really ducking Denver because he scored 40 against them last time they played. He probably wanted to play so he could drop another 40 balls
in front of his home crowd.
Yeah, but we're still hooping. At the end of the day, home or not, we're still hooping. That's just my opinion. I mean, I get it. It's annoying. You want to see it. He does know what he's doing.
I think,
but it's not like he's a guy who's like, oh shit, Embiid's injured. Like, no, he's a guy that's been injured throughout his career. He has a high usage, one of the highest usage percentages in the league. A guy that goes to the line, he's going to get nicked and dinged. And I think that it was just a case of, it happened to be when they were playing Denver.
I believe to E's point, I think what he's getting at is like, there's definitely been a mentality shift, and you can say it across a lot of things, but I think in the NBA, man, it's like it's very pronounced. You know what I mean? Like even Steve Kerr came out with like some rule changes. I think, dude, I get that we want to see things, but I'm not trying to watch 150 to 146 games. You know what I mean? In terms of the point scoring, I'm trying to see. It's crazy, man. You look at the finals back in 98, 99, you were looking at finals games of 89 to 97 or 89 to 93. Or if you hit 100, it was like, okay. And that wasn't because the offense was worse. The three-point wasn't as great, but you're not telling me that the three-point shot has put 50 points on games. It's like the defense has become obsolete in almost every league, baseball, basketball, and football. It's like defense is no longer valued.
Basketball's kind of like analytics have taken over sports. We see it when we watch football games, the fourth and whatever, go for it. In NBA, the analytics have been the same, just as like that's what's hindering the sport too, is these guys have been so much better than 20 years ago shooting the 3-ball. And now teams are doing the 2-for-1. When there's 30 seconds left on the clock, you just go down and jack up a 3 to get another extra possession, as well as now it's turning into a 3-to-1, like 3-for-1. Go down there with 45 seconds, shoot it right away, go on defense, get the rebound, go shoot it again right away. It's just so many more possessions going into the game faster than ever.
I agree with that. The more shots you take, the more shots you're probably going to make. That's analytically speaking. But I think the thing is like you go back to Last Dance, like when that's a fucking foul. No, I mean, there's no physicality in any of these sports anymore that make people afraid to catch a ball over the middle or to make people afraid to draw the lane, because LeBron wouldn't be in the league 21 years, I'm telling you right now, or he'd have much more wear and tear if they were able to put that dude on his ass. Yeah. You know what I mean? It gets to the point where it's like Curry, the Curry's layup that went to overtime, and I'm a Warriors guy, that took him to overtime. I think it was the first overtime, maybe the second overtime. But Curry's layup, like Anthony Davis would have took his head off. Earlier in the game, which would have had him thinking about that layup. Yeah. That it's just crazy. Like that's where it's like, I'm not saying to advocate for violence or hurting people, but there's got to be some level of, you got to be able to be physical with people. They got to change the game. These games are going to get to 180 points. So any more offensive leniency here, you're going to see people at 163, 172, 100. To me, that's not enjoyable. It's just not, because it's like every time you go down, I have more scores than you have scores. It's not about building a team. It's about putting more people on the floor that can score. Yeah. So it's not, the NBA is not interesting to me at this point until the playoffs, because then they get to the playoffs and they change the whole rules of the game, and that's not right either. They should be adjusted. There should be some things, but dude, the playoffs are drastically different than the regular season now. Drastically.
Yeah. And I mean, the whole league's gone to, it's just all about money. All these rule changes are about money. First of all, you got to play 65 games now to make an all NBA team. And
why did they do that? Why did they do that? He's a big basketball guy. Why did they do that though? Because
this is what I'm going to say. For the common fan that's not too involved in like the rules, when you make an all NBA team, your next contract, you can make more money. The max contract that you can get goes up. And that means that they're forcing players to not take as many nights off, because players could be losing out on millions and millions of dollars if they decide like, oh, I'm a little nick. So that leads to more people in the seats. That also leads to, like what you said with the fouls. Those rules are because they don't want superstars getting hurt. Because when superstars getting hurt, the money tanks, and and people don't want to watch low scoring games. That's a little bit more old school basketball, and all the new kids want to see points and 3-pointers jacked up, which drives up more money. So everything's ties into money. That's kind of what I'm saying. So now Embiid, like Tyrese Halliburton on his next contract after his max extension, is that he might not even make the All-NBA team this year because he might miss too many games, which sucks for him because the rule just changed. But I mean that's a little bit taking a more deeper dive into what's really going on, and I like that the NBA did it, to be honest with you.
What do you think, E?
I agree. That and I mean the problem is that injury that they can just like Embiid. Hey, I'm hurt. You know, the idea was to get the guys so we don't sit out, we don't rest as much as we were before, right? So they said we'll throw that nugget out there of MVP. You got to play X games, but they can also always just be like, I'm just hurt. You know, I don't know. You roll into Philly, and I get it. You know, Harris was already out a couple games, and Maxey. I mean, to have the big three not playing Denver, kind of, and it's rivalry weekend, and you're a standalone TV game. I'm sure David Silver wasn't too happy with that either, though. Just to, you know, because you were a standalone like the Knicks, the only game on, and then they went to, you know, different games. They couldn't even shift to another game.
Yeah, that's yeah.
You know,
yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just chatter, man. It's like Kelsey throwing helmets. Embiid didn't play. Sauce's point. It's big news in Denver. Hey, the guy's scared. He's this, he's that. But 24-hour media moved on. There's a news story.
Yeah, but let's put it this way. So the NBA season's how long? How long is it? 82 games, but how many months?
I think it spans over the regular season.
Well, yeah, the whole season. Yeah, we'll go regular season. 82 games.
November, December, January, February.
I think it ends in March. Or
yeah, so 5 months. 4.5, 5 months.
I think like the last games will be.
I think 7 months.
May and June. March is college.
But I get it's physical. I'm not trying to compare it to the corporate world, but who gets 17 sick days? Who you know, man, that's like you get 4 weeks vacation. That's 20 days, and then 10 sick days with a lenient package. You're missing that many games, and you don't have a substantial injury. It's like, come on,
5 months.
Yeah. So you 17 games in 5 months, and you got the best trainers in the world. Some of these guys need to get their diet right and need to, like, come on, man. People are paying to see their money, and the fact that you buy a ticket, have to buy it so far in advance, like an airline ticket, and then the day before, like, oh, this dude's hurt, and there's no legit viable reason. That's why I'm just not into the NBA the way I used to be, man. And I was a big NBA guy.
But I mean, that rule isn't just Adam Silver that made it like where you got to play a certain amount of games. That had to be passed by the NBA Players Association.
Correct. The players
that goes through all of them. So
yeah.
that goes to show you that even the dudes on the NBA PA board are saying, yeah, like these dudes need to play more games, and it opens up the book for a lot of these, you know, middle of the pack guys that play a lot of games to make an all NBA team to make their contracts go up. So I mean, it goes, everything has to go through the Players Association as well, which I like, but because a lot of these dudes at the top are making too much money, and there's a lot of dudes at the bottom that, you know, have more love for the game that can make more.
Right.
So what was that line on that was -4.5, correct? Denver was favored 4.5 tonight. That's the last I saw it.
Yeah, I think it might have been 5.5.
I seen the Lakers got blown out by 16.
We'll wrap up tonight's show though. Some good talk here. Looking forward to the Super Bowl weekend. We'll see it in 2 weeks. We'll get some more player props going as we get close to the game time again. Like Sach said though, we got to take advantage of some things. We're too smart to not look at all the ins and outs of some stuff, so we got to know what's hot and what's not. We'll get there, though. This is the best team around. This is the Bet Champ Show. The fellas got anything to end the show?
No.
Look forward to seeing you guys on a Thursday, and we get a lot more deeper look into props and game lines. So We'll dive deeper into all that time.
Absolutely, guys. This is the Bet Champ Show After Hours edition. You can catch us every Monday and Thursday night at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That'll do it for the boys, and we'll see you at the next one.
Peace.